I think that you got to have high standards because what happens is high school, not really, but college. Yeah, bring that over here. College is a weeding out process.
Yeah.
All they want to do in college is basically say who can cut it and who can't.
Yeah.
And once they figure that out, then you essentially go to the wayside, and every kid that just pushed through the hard parts, they're the ones that are going to reap that rewards.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think overall, if you're going to talk school choice, I used to be all charter schools all the time.
Okay.
I'm not anymore.
Okay.
I'm agnostic to the type of school. I think what you got to have is give parents purchasing power to pick the school that suits their child's needs and interests.
Okay.
So if it's charter, cool. If it's religious, fine. If it's parochial, okay. If it's traditional public school, great. If it's homeschool, fine. If you get to 7th, 8th grade and you realize that your child, and we all know the strengths of our children. I got 3 sons. I know their strengths. I know their weaknesses. If you start to see around 7th, 8th, 9th grade that maybe this child is not one leaning towards higher learning, college, then let's move them down the trade route. What about them learning welding, carpentry? What about them learning how to become a contractor, plumbing, HVAC, auto technicians? There's so many career fields that are out there where you don't need a college degree, but you just got to focus down that line. That could be your passion.
Okay.
I think a lot of times the biggest thing, I'm going to stop here. The biggest thing that we got to do in education overall is help young kids identify their strengths in life.
Okay.
We spend so much time in education and really when kids are young about trying to build your weaknesses up. But then you become an adult and we don't build our weaknesses up. We focus on what we're good at.
Yeah.
And then we grind and we go do that. We got to help kids understand what their strengths are in middle school, in high school, and then help them follow that strength path. They'll be a lot more productive. They'll be a lot happier about what's going on in their personal lives. And I think that's the real pathway to success. There's not one pathway.
I agree with that. I guess if you focus on your strengths and perfect your strengths, then to me, that leaves you can be really good at that and then still pick up other skills along the way versus kind of being okay at a little bit of everything and then still not knowing what you want to do or not having the right resources to get to the path that you want to go down. So I agree with that. Yeah.
There's many pathways.
I agree with that.
You want to say on that?
Yeah, and I think, and also, I just like I said earlier, I don't think we should be in the business of accepting mediocrity either. I think Byron's hitting the nail on the head. We want to challenge people, but we also want people to know what excellence is. We want people to know what excellence looks like. And so just to pass somebody, just to placate them because we're fearful for what they might be in the future, I don't think we're doing them any favors at that point. Now, Byron's argument is a very good one. Everybody has a talent, and everybody's good at something. Mm-hmm. How do we identify that and then allow young people to compete in what they are good at?
Okay.
I am a product of school choice. My parents drove 1 hour one way every single day to send me to a private school.
Wow.
And by the way, it was tough. It was difficult. But you find me, the kid.
That's actually crazy. That means his mom or dad had to be up super early to get him ready and then take him to school. And then if they had to work, then they had to be back. I mean, hopefully maybe they got a job like where his school was at, but more than likely maybe they had to drive back and then drive. That's a lot of back and forth. That's a lot of gas money. That's a lot of just mileage on your car. Man, that's crazy. But I mean, it paid off because he's where he's at. So if they did what they thought was necessary to put him in a place where he could be successful, and it paid off well.
With perfect attendance, who's from the hood, with perfect attendance, maybe not even be the best student, but they try. They want to put in the effort. They just need a better environment. And if they are willing to make that drive, if their parents are willing to make that struggle, then you know what? We got to meet them halfway. That's where Lisa Rice was talking about yesterday when she was talking about school choice, where, look, rich white folks, they do have school choice. You know why? They choose to live in neighborhoods that have good schools.
Yeah.
That's their choice to do so. And then, by the way, if they don't like those public schools, then what do? They'll send them to a private school. That is school choice.
It ties into this, and it's a little off topic from exactly what he's talking about. But I mean, that just comes back. I'm speaking from the Black community perspective. I've seen my mom, she was the breadwinner at one point, but it's at the end of the day, it's what are you willing to do to secure your success and your generational wealth, your generational guess, legacy that you pass on to your kids and all that. And if more people had that mentality, yes, I mean, I'm sure a lot of them are working hard, and they're probably working jobs that aren't paying them enough. But it's what are you willing to do to put yourself in a good spot? Are you willing to put the work in now so that you can have a better future, or are you going to sit around and complain? But it's just, what are you willing to do things the right way, legal way? Because the thing I've learned about people that have migrated to the U.S. and are legal citizens, man, they work their tails off. They'll work for scraps until they get to where they want to be. They're good at starting their own businesses and keeping the business running through their family. And it might not be the best work, but it's something, and it's a foundation. And a lot of them end up being successful. And I do see a lot of our community kind of just sit around and complain and wait for these handouts they're just not going to come. There's people coming over here that are willing to work harder and build something in this land that we call America, and they take full advantage of the freedoms that are provided here and the opportunities that are provided here. And I just wish a lot of us would do the same. We can't keep making these excuses, and can't keep keeping our community back because of these things we're told are obstacles when they're really not. You just got to go out there and get it like everybody else. So
how do we have more parity, though, for those people that don't have those kinds of resources? And by the way, life ain't fair. Life ain't easy.
And at least he's trying to find, he's talking about trying to find ways to meet these people halfway. But yeah, I mean, he's still acknowledging that, hey, I do understand that some people live in areas where these resources are not available. They're not going to have access to these better education and things like that. But he's like, hey, let's find a way to meet these people halfway. The people that really are serious about changing their trajectory in life and making something out of nothing. So
I don't want to give anybody anything, but you show me a young family, you show me a kid that may be underpoverished, that's willing to drive 1 hour one way to go to public school and compete. How do we offer those kinds of opportunities? And then you couple that with what Byron just said about technical schools and realize that everybody ain't going to go to college. That's not how this works anymore. And by the way, I'm looking at a lot of people that didn't go to college that are mechanics. You want to talk about HVAC? I mean, I'm wondering why the hell am I a congressman, man?
Yeah, I'm jealous of people that I'm jealous of people that like mechanics. Like they have skills that I don't. Like I can learn these skills, but people that have been doing it for years, like they know the ins and outs of a car. There's plumbers that can they can fix almost anything inside a house, and these are skills that are useful and will always be useful in society. So they're not something to look down on. They pay well because a lot of people just don't want to do jobs like that. So you don't always have to go to college to be successful. You don't have to get that high-paying job in an office, because you can make good money doing things with your hands that a lot of people don't do anymore.
Yeah. They're the ones with boats. I ain't got a boat.
Yeah.
They figured it out their own way without going to college. So how do we marry that with their strengths?
I like that. I like that. Yeah. So I agree with what they said. I'm on their side with you got to challenge people. If you make it too easy for students who actually could do good if they were challenged, then I just feel like you're selling them short, because a lot of the kids who are smart enough to do good, they're just not being held to a standard that other kids are.
But the kids that don't want to reach that standard, so we're just gonna let them drop out.
No. I hate saying this, but it's the God's honest truth. You can't save everybody.
You can't.
This is a meritocracy. This is you. A lot of people. I don't want to hear pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You got to have effort. You got to have drive. You got to want to do something. Everybody doesn't want to do anything.
Yeah,
that's true.
And that's unfortunate, but that's the God's honest truth.
That's
we have to spend our time trying to figure out how do we help the people and help the young people that do want to do something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not flatline it.
Yeah.
Look, the only thing I'm gonna add to that is, and let's take education out. Let's get to sports. Not everybody makes the basketball team.
Not everybody plays
Not
football.
everybody makes the
even though
football
they're 6'4", 270 pounds.
You know what? Go ahead. What you want me to do? You want me to forge your signature and go play football?
Yes.
Man, stop. I got a black mama.
She'd have been retired.
My mama's black. You better stop. You better stop.
So is
anyway,
mine.
moving on.
Facts.
Yeah.
Back to what I was talking about.
Facts.
Not everybody makes the sport team. And even if you make the team, that doesn't mean you play.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a standard.
Yeah.
And me being a former athlete, I've been on both ends. I've rode the bench and I've started. I've been the go-to guy. And you know, when you get to college, man, there's just people that are more skilled and more athletic. And quite frankly, if I'm being honest, there's just people that are willing to outwork you and prove to coaches why they're willing to play. And I've been on both ends of that. So he's absolutely right. And that's a great way to think about these other aspects of life.
Coaching, there is a standard. If you don't shoot 40% from the three, you know what your basketball coach tells you? Stop shooting threes.
Yeah,
You're not Steph Curry.
That's true.
What are you doing? If you can't make free throws, if there's a technical foul, you ain't going to the line.
Yeah.
There's a standard that you got to meet in life, especially in academics. I think that there are kids where academics is not their thing.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that their mind doesn't have the ability to do academic work. That doesn't mean that their mind doesn't have a genius about them. It just might not be in the classroom.
Correct.
Yeah.
Their genius could be other places.
So-
and I think that goes back to finding the strengths of young people to find where their genius is.
Okay.
Listen, put somebody in the environment where they're doing the thing that they love. They are a genius. Like, I'm not
Facts.
a car guy.
Facts.
When that hood goes up, I'm looking at that thing like this. What's all this do?
Facts.
Where did you change the oil? Cool.
You know
I
what a
where the
battery.
gas
You know what a
goes.
battery is, all right?
Man, stop. I know where a battery is, dude. I can change a battery now. We're not taking apart engines. We're not doing that.
That's my boy, dude.
I have intelligence. I just don't have car genius.
I me neither, bro.
And that's
me neither.
cool.
Yeah.
Me neither.
And I think we got to start looking at the worst thing we've done in America is we try to pigeonhole every child to say you have to go through K through 12 to get to college to be a success.
Yeah.
We have pigeonholed more people and put more people in a bad spot. So then you got Joe Biden coming out saying, oh, well, if he could finish his damn sentence, I'm going to forgive student loans. But the truth is, people took out loans for degrees. A, they shouldn't have been majoring in. B, that may not be their genius, but they were told that's the only way to be successful.
That's true.
We got to stop that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
And that segues into my next question. So clearly you guys are very successful. You know, you're very headstrong on things, just strong men. And I feel like in the black community, there's a very contagious attitude of victim mentality. And I recently just got back from Cameroon, Africa for a track meet, and that completely just changed my perspective on life. Like seeing how people there live and seeing like that a lot of those kids there really.
And to his point, man, that's these last few years, I've had to like just learn to appreciate what I have, the opportunities and the freedoms that I have here. One of my favorite J. Cole songs, and I think it's his favorite song that he performs, is Love Yours. Like, we're so focused on what everybody else has and what we don't have. And it's like, dude, you got stuff like right there in front of you. You have opportunities in front of you. Like, love the opportunities you have and make the best of them and try to grow upon them and make something from it. So I appreciate him bringing that up.
Their chances are just a lot less than the people here. So how do we fix that negative mindset in the black community?
Have you seen first-generation Nigerians and first-generation Ghanaians in America?
Exactly.
They don't have that mentality, though.
Yeah.
They come to this country and they do very well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because they haven't been growing up in a system that told them that they were second-class citizens and that they can't be anybody.
Right.
That used to be the case in this country 40, 50 years ago, but it's not anymore. This is the land of opportunity. We have got to stop telling our young people, stop telling our young black kids that they are second-class citizens because of the white man. It's over. It's over. Jim Crow.
And that's insane because like all these other minority groups, I need to see if I can pull up, some stats to show. I guess it would be the employment or maybe wealth by demographic. But how is it that we're the only people that are quote unquote still struggling, and all these other groups like the Asian community and the Asian community and Hispanic community, they are able to build wealth and build some type of foundation and pass things down to their kids, and we're over here still complaining about the white man and Jim Crow and all these things that are years behind us, and we have all this opportunity in front of us. It just, to me, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, I used to be there, so I know what that mentality is like, but even though I'm not where I want to be and I'm still working towards goals, I have it pretty well. Like I'm I'm getting to speak to a camera and trying to, I'm doing this as a side hobby, trying to make, money eventually, but there's all this opportunity out here to make money and be successful. And we just continuously just sit back and look for things to complain about. And we have to move forward from that. We have to move out of that mentality. It's not productive at all. And it just keeps setting you back, years and years. So.
Parent, look, there ain't no excuses. Life is hard for everyone. It's hard for everybody. Stop looking at, stop having a competition between, my life's harder than somebody else's, therefore I can't. That's not true, because so many people come to this country as first generation Americans and they do exceedingly well because they never accepted being a victim.
Amen.
And that's what we have to start preaching to our young people.
Amen.
The only thing I'm going to add to, Wesley's absolutely right. What I'll add to it is, if you're constantly told you're thirsty, you're going to go to a well looking for water. And what's happened also is you have a lot of leaders in our country who are constantly telling black people that they're thirsty.
Yeah.
Not understanding that they have a faucet in their own house.
And I believe this is the part of the video when I was watching it, I was like, man, that's a very powerful message that he gave. You can please pay attention to this. I'll try to chop it up. This video is already like an hour long, so I'll try to chop it up and make it shorter and find the points that I want to hone in on.
That was very well said.
The water's right there. But they're running around, they'll be on TV, they'll do interviews, they'll come into the black community, go give speeches, they'll go into black churches and say, it's never been so bad, but if you support me, it'll be better tomorrow. No, that's a lie. It was very, very bad. Wesley's right, talking about the era his parents came up in, the era my mom, my dad came up in. Way tougher. Look, the Celtics just won the championship, right? And, I'm a Laker fan. Shout out to the Celtics. Banner number 18. I'm going to leave it alone for now. Jason Tatum about to get $315 million from the Boston Celtics. Has anybody asked? Now, obviously, Bill Russell, God rest his...
That team from the ground up and added pieces to it, man. And he's just showing that you can be successful. Even if you're using your athletic ability, your academic ability, maybe you have a skill or a talent that most people don't, and find your way. But regardless of what you do, you're going to have to work hard, and you're going to have to pave a way for yourself. Because there's resources, there's opportunities, there's things to help make things a little bit easier, but at the end of the day, you still have to put the hard work in. I want to be successful at this YouTube stuff. I'm putting the work in. It's 1 o'clock right now, and I've stayed up. I've only been doing this for about a couple weeks now, and I've stayed up as late as 2 or 3 just trying to edit videos or work on the quality of my content, because I want to be the best that I can be. I want to be the best. I want to be as best, some of my favorite YouTubers, but I want to be the best that I can be and keep working on things to make my content better, and then grow my brand and keep working hard as the videos keep coming out. But
they've gone through the lineage of what Bill Russell went through when he played for the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
Are you going to tell me today that Jason Tatum's experience and Bill Russell's experience is the same?
Wrong.
In the same city for the same franchise?
Wrong.
It's not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying America's perfect. I'll never say that.
Yep.
Because our history as a country is a dark history.
Like
Our
every
people-
country.
Every
civilized country.
Our people were persecuted in this country. Full stop. That's
Period.
the truth. But don't sit here and tell me that a black kid growing up today is the same as a black kid growing up in 1950 America.
Yeah.
No.
It's not even the same thing.
No.
And you need to stop. It's not even the same. Look, I did a town hall meeting when I was in the State House like 6 years ago. And there was a young kid, he was 21 at the time, came to my event, and he stood up and he asked me a question. He goes, with everything that's going on, I just don't know how I can get ahead in America.
With everything that's going on.
I looked at the
Byron.
kid. I looked at the kid. Hold on, Wesley. I looked at the kid. I swear. I looked at the kid, and I'm like, Tom. I looked at my hands. I said, young brother. I'm 39 years old, 40 years old, however old I was at the time. I'm a state representative. I didn't grow up in Naples. You live in Naples, Florida, which is a meritocracy if there ever was a meritocracy in America. This is where you grew up. I'm from the inner city of Brooklyn, New York. You got it way better than I had. And we're only separated by 20 years. My sons stand on my shoulders. Just like I stand on my mother's shoulders. Just like Wesley stands on the shoulders of his parents.
Correct.